Greetings from the Spacepod. So here's the situation. We were going to have Sean Stone sitting in with us tonight on the show. He hosts a paranormal show on YouTube called Buzzsaw, and he also, incidentally, is the son of famed director Oliver Stone, and we're really looking forward to talking with him. Now, due to a snafu on our end, we weren't able to hook up with him on Monday night, just a miscommunication. So we rescheduled for Tuesday night, and then Sean was under the weather. So we decided to push this into the not-too-distant future, and we are looking forward to getting him on because I think it's going to be a very interesting discussion. The only reason I'm giving you a heads up here is I'd already basically edited the show to bookend what we thought was going to be an interview with Sean coming the following day. So you will hear us tout that Sean will be coming, and then I think at some point I left this in. I couldn't find it, so I decided, fuck it, I'll leave it in. But somewhere is a little note, and maybe a couple of notes, saying, insert Sean's interview here. Oh, that's a little look behind the curtain. Left it all in there for you guys. So, just didn't want you to get your hopes and dreams dashed. That's also why this show is a little on the short side, and no real soup du jour. But still some good stuff in here, and we will definitely get Sean Stone on in the near future. So look forward to that, and enjoy the Spacepod. We love you.
Tales from the Spacepod is intended for mature, open-minded audiences only. If you are easily offended, I suggest you turn this wacky shit right off. Otherwise, welcome to the pod.
Hey, Behemoth.
You said Stone.
We take this shit on the Rizzo.
Yeah, no kidding, man. It's almost as good as fucking Lyle's Hulk Hogan. Hey, brother.
Surprisingly good.
What do you mean, brother?
Instantly, it makes me happy on the inside.
That's because it works instantly. It's instantly recognizable. Well, it looks like John Mark's not quite on, and our guest will be joining us hopefully in about a half hour. Anything could happen when you have busy guests with busy schedules, but I am going to go ahead and say it. Sean Stone is going to be joining us in about a half an hour. I'm going to proclaim it to the universe, and in a secret-like fashion, I'm going to pronounce it to the universe so that it shall be so. Looking very much forward to this. He is, of course, the son of Oliver Stone, among many, many other things. Lots of stuff to get into, but first, let's get cruising on to news, so we got time to talk to him later. Did you guys see this story about the Shakespeare grave, and they're going to be scanning it, or they actually did, in commemoration of the 400th anniversary of Shakespeare's death. Researchers in England performed radar scans of the legendary playwright's cursed grave. Now, I've got to admit, I was not familiar with the notion that his grave was cursed at all. So I had to look into that, of course, and as it turns out, there's actually a plaque on his grave warning of a curse.
Does it say, boo?
Kind of in his own, his wordy way. It says, "Good friend, for Jesus' sake, forbear to dig the dust enclosed here. Blessed be the man that spared these stones, and cursed be he that moves my bones." God, that is a cool-ass headstone, all piratey and shit. It's like, arr, here be cursed bones, matey. Fuck with them not.
One goes up your bunghole.
A lot of historians apparently think that the great man himself wrote that warning before he died and said, I want this on my fucking tombstone. It was apparently, in those days, thought to be a great desecration to fuck with one's grave. That still is, to some degree, certain religions especially, but...
You would think with his stature that he would have a little bit of forethought and probably did write it, wouldn't you think? If you knew you were going to die.
Yeah, you definitely write your own epitaph if you are Shakespeare.
Sure.
And you'd make it all threatening and stuff.
Jesus, Bowie did a whole album about his death, I hear.
That's right. Apparently a couple. But this group of radar scanners, I guess, are looking to learn more about the family that he was buried alongside of. And just out of genuine curiosity how he looks down there, I would assume. But it got me thinking, think about technology as it gets better. We will eventually have the power to just peep in on graves like they're right there in front of us.
Let me check grave cam. Hold on.
Yeah, we won't.
Still there.
Well, think about it. We won't have to dig them up. I mean, that's a whole new level of morbid tourism waiting to happen. Guides to interesting graves to look in on. We could be discovering all sorts of hidden shits. Like, wait, Kurt Cobain was buried with a teddy bear? Or there's 3 bodies in the JFK coffin, 2 of them blonde, if you know what I'm saying. Seriously, though, think about that on a hobby and an intrigue level. Looking into graves, a lot of times there's legalities, there's logistical issues with digging graves up. So it could be a pretty sweet thing.
What if you catch like a fucking, well, what do they call those? Not a pallbearer. I guess no, that's a mortician, and say he's got like a really fucking morbid sense of humor. Mm-hmm. And like, it's like, you're the last one.
This fucking puts clown faces on all this.
Dude.
Like, grave pranking. Well, this would bring that out. Think of all the Easter eggs that are out there in graveyards that have been hidden for us to discover once we get the technology to clearly see what's 10 feet below. I mean, I can't wait till that. What a morbid and crazy thing to just go down to your local. I mean, forget celebrities. Just go down and, explore. Just looking at rotting corpses and like, oh, this one was buried last week. Fuck, let's go look at them shits. Can you just see the Halloween you could have with a scanner like that? And we're all so fucked in the head. I could just see that. But the scanning is all done, I guess, and they, of course, are releasing the results later this year. I'm assuming it will be part of a documentary or TV show, but interesting. And I'm sure this is going to be something that's going to happen more and more,
It'd be really freaky-ish is like going to like really old cemeteries, like when witchcraft was, supposed to be, like the trend, or like you figure
all the rage, man.
Your relative died, they thought it was a vampire or whatever. They dug it up and like, cut their head off and stuck it on their lap and reburied them or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. There could be all sorts of shit. Bodies missing, crazy people in their wills saying, "Bury me with this artifact or with this animal," or what have you. All sorts of secrets are waiting down there. Speaking of witchcraft, though, Lyle, here's a creepy and tragic tale out of Africa, Malawi specifically, I believe is how you pronounce that. Apparently, a lot of street gangs have been killing and viciously attacking albino people.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
like they can't get a shorter end of the stick.
No, give the albinos a break. They're albino Africans, for God's sake. They've had it rough, but I guess the few that are surviving these attacks are left with missing body parts.
Wow!
And it's getting so out of control that the local authorities have had to set up special programs and change the laws to protect their albino people.
Christ Almighty!
Yeah, it's fucked up, and it gets more fucked up. Most of the killings have occurred in broad daylight, like right out in front of their families, in front of their friends, and their bodies are dragged off and thrown into a car, and they speed away. And everyone's like, did that just fucking happen? Before they would even have time to know what happened, like people are getting their heads chopped off and just being tossed into right out in front of broad daylight. These are brazen attacks. Now, they believe the attacks are connected to local witch doctors that claim albino body parts have magical healing powers. So these criminals are making bank off these body parts by selling them to witch doctors. So now the cops have been given authority to basically shoot on sight anyone that's even seen harassing an albino. Wow. This is the ultimate in anti-bullying measures. But apparently, sickeningly, albino babies are even more magical. So top dollar, of course, is given to a genuine albino baby part.
This is fucking grim.
Is that not sickening?
Yeah.
You went to school with an albino.
Yeah, we had one or two. And,
have his fingers on the keychain, or
he was fully intact. I don't know if the witch doctors here in America were of the same mindset, but fucking crazy.
They were slacking.
Oh, greetings, John Mark.
Hello.
I like how you slid in there. My monitor went dim. Snuck in on
That's
me.
what she said.
My monitor went dim.
I like how you slid in.
Ironically talking about the albinos. There have also been lots of mobs of vigilantes going after these self-proclaimed albino hunters. I mean, they're calling themselves albino hunters. This is something that the cheesy media has affixed to them. That's what they go by. And for vengeance killings, Anyway, quite a fucked up little tale there. And speaking of fucked up, here's a fun little fact about Darwin. that I'd never heard. According to HistoryBuff.com, he ate every single animal that he ever discovered.
What?
Is that not an odd fact? This was shared by Moses on our Facebook.
Gots to know how it tastes.
That's exactly what it was. It's like,
Wow.
after he measured it, it's like, there's only one thing left to do.
I've seen how it poops. I've seen how it fucks. I've seen how it sleeps. How does it taste?
Tastes like chicken.
A two. How many licks does it take to get to this rare albino lizard?
I was kind of wanted to think that he probably did it as a hunter value. You know, there's a hunter's kind of code that, you know, like you shoot your first deer, you eat the heart.
You
know,
don't waste it.
Yeah,
I think he just wanted to see how it tastes.
yeah, but I think he actually probably wanted to know what everything tasted like.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of both. But Darwin developed his exotic appetite apparently at a young age. This is off the website itself, reading directly. During his student days at Christ's College, Cambridge, he presided over the university's Glutton Club. The main objective of the club was to seek out strange flesh and consume the birds and beasts which were before unknown to the human palate.
I don't recall Glutton Club being an option for me in high school. But
It's probably best
I took
for
the
all.
class anyways.
Probably best for all concerned that wasn't an option. He even apparently ate an extremely rare bird once, and that is liking your meat rare. Like there's only 3 on the whole planet.
Well, what's too bad is they didn't have like fryer technology. Because, I mean, like a lizard would taste great, you know, dipped in
Just
fried.
fucking
you
Nick
know?
Lizard.
Yeah,
Well, I think they were frying stuff back when
Tastes like
Darwin
chicken.
was around.
right?
Everything tastes like chicken. Yeah, that's what I hear. But one bird was so rare that after eating it, he felt so bad that he gathered all the remains up and tried to save it best he could for preservation. But what have I done? I killed the werebird. You see it like holding its dead carcass up.
It sounds like the makings of a good musical, like a musical about Darwin eating stuff.
The true Darwinism. The most famous of animal researchers couldn't resist popping every one of them sons of bitches into his gullet. I mean, this is a fascinating looking blue squirrel. Nope.
Tastes just like the last.
And sadly, the missing link still eludes me.
I'm still empty inside.
My quest continues for the tastiest of animals. Bring on the next. It just struck me funny, and it's kind of reminded me of the Audubon Society, you know, the bird watchers and the preservation group. That was founded by John Audubon, who researched and studied and painted every bird he ever found. Well, as it turns out, birds are a bitch to paint while they're alive with all that pesky movement. So he killed every one of those birds, stuffed it, mounted it, posed it, and then painted it. So when you look at all those classic Audubon paintings that are in those older books, you're looking at paintings of corpses. Cute, huh? And this is like the premier bird appreciation and preservation society, all based on murder. That's a pretty well-known fact, but a lot of people still don't know it. What you guys got?
I got a WTF, but I wanted to follow John Marks if he had one.
I don't have anything, you guys. I couldn't find anything this week.
Okay, so it's a WTF on a couple of levels. Now, what I want you to do is put yourself in this guy's shoes. There's a trial going on right now. It's a civil suit against a hotel, and it's very similar to the Aaron Andrews case on some levels. Okay, I'm just going to read the bulleted headlines here. Daniel Hughes, 42, was acquitted in a molestation trial in 2014 after he was given the wrong hotel room key and got into bed with a child in 2011. What happened here is he was working for some company where he was traveling, and he was making like $500,000 a year. It was a rental car company. He was high up in the chain. Yeah. He was out drinking, and he met a girl at a bar, went back to his hotel room completely plastered, told the clerk he was in so-and-so room and he couldn't find his key card. The clerk gave him the new key card, went up, got into bed, and for some reason thought he was now in bed with this girl he'd met at the hotel. Now, I'm talking under the pretense that this is actually how it went down, obviously. Right. He cuddled the girl. She freaked the fuck out. Then he was like, whoa, he got out of bed, etc. He was wearing nothing but his underwear, too. So, looks pretty bad.
Yeah. But he's got a story.
He's got a story, but here's the deal. He went down and he said, well, I gave you my room number, what the fuck? And the guy was like, yeah, you gave me this room number. He was staying at that exact same room number the day before in another hotel. He was just confused. I mean, like, literally, he gave them the hotel room he was staying at the day before. That's
Right.
what happened. And the guy fucking gave him a key. Oh, here you go, ching.
Huh.
So now he was acquitted of molestation, and now he's suing the hotel chain.
Sure.
Saying he lost his job. You know. He
Oh,
lost,
you get that moniker attached to you, child molester.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter what happens after that. That
all
never
she wrote.
truly gets removed.
You're not Subway sandwiches anymore.
No.
So that's my WTF of the week. Like, if this is accurate, if he actually is telling the truth, and there was no, like, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how this case goes for sure, because that's rough. And suing in this case, especially if you win, of course, legitimizes your case even further that, look, I didn't fuck no kid.
Yeah.
That would be a horrible situation to find yourself in. Now, I will say this. I've been pretty drunk in my day. And I've crawled into bed with, there's been a couple of times I've crawled in the wrong bed, I ain't gonna lie. But it's immediately clear that I'm in the wrong bed with the wrong person.
We talk about this, Ron.
Yeah, Lyle and I have talked about this. But, cuddle up to a little kid, shouldn't you know right off? I mean, how long did this go on?
Not long. I don't know the details. There weren't many details in the
Sketchy.
story of the actual.
Sketchy at best, huh?
Sketchy at best. But
Yeah.
they also said that there was a woman he had met, and he for some reason, I wonder, they didn't go into detail, but I wonder if he'd given his key card to her, said meet me in my room, and then was like, fuck, I need to get a key card, I don't have my other one. I'm like, what if? There's all sorts of what ifs there.
Right.
What if he's a fucking child molester and he was waiting? Now who knows? Like, it's fucked up.
That is fucked up. And I don't know, it makes me very uncomfortable.
Really?
Well, I don't like the idea of anything accidentally happening that can link me to something super
Yes.
fucked up.
That's
I have
what I'm
an unnatural paranoia of stuff like that. Like I've heard of
Like somebody might catch you peeping on them or something. Like that would never happen, right, Ron?
No, well, I'm peeping on
No.
grown adults. These are grown, consenting adults, at least to each other. They haven't consented to the monster peeping in on from 3 miles down with a super powerful scope. But anything linked with kids is. Just like I said, there is that thing. I remember growing up, and certain students were labeled Chester molester. I know Lyle knows who I'm talking about. It's not Lyle. I should probably be clear on that. It's like, I know Lyle knows what I mean.
Lyle?
But and that never went away. And I don't know if that kid ever went within 10 feet of molesting a kid. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but it stuck, and kids didn't care. He
ended up molesting kids because if the move fits.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if shit like that happened. It was like, or at least it ruined, a school shooting or something. That's the kind of thing that torments somebody into doing some seriously fucked up shit. Sure. When you torment them over anything, but torment them over something that is, one, a lie, and two, something that's pretty fucking heinous and is going to stick to them the better part of their life.
Sure. What was it, like 7th or 8th grade? That followed them all the way through high school,
I was talking to somebody the other day, and his name came up, and the word Chester molester soon followed. And it's like, the dude's like 40, and charges were never brought. I don't even know if anybody ever made any accusation. It was probably just some asshole at school that didn't like the kid,
right?
And started fucking saying this shit. That's how scary it is. So yeah, crawling in the bed with the wrong age somebody. But again, I don't know. I don't think that would go very far. But if it's just like, oops, whoopsie daisy, oh shit, this is a kid, and the kid wakes up and is like, hey, what the fuck? Who's this stranger crawling into bed with me? Suddenly you've got a kid that's crying out against the wall, climbing into fucking bed with him, and then you've got something that's doubly troubling. Because you always got to give the kids the benefit of the doubt to some degree. But I don't know. It sounds like, to me, from the story, the broad strokes anyway, that the hotel, at least there's some traceable record that it was a honest mistake.
Yeah,
I'm leaning toward that, but interesting. I'm going to give that a pretty good score because I'm looking at it from that paranoia. Like, boy, that would suck to be going through that and to have any notion of that attached to you. Yeah. I'm going to give that a solid 8.0.
Word up! I feel good about my WTF.
Yeah, you should.
Wow.
That is fucked up.
Good job, Chris. Good job.
Thanks, John Mark.
Good stuff.
You guys ready for some good stuff?
Oh, you know it.
Some more good stuff. Proof unicorns are real.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what we got here?
Video of a unicorn. No, this is what's fucking hilarious. But apparently there was a photo shoot, kids photo shoot,
Mm-hmm.
and they set this pony to mimic looking like a unicorn, right?
Oh, fuck.
Well, it did escape and ended up cruising through the city. Sad to find it.
And nobody knew, of course, that it was a setup.
Right.
I just saw a magical unicorn. Boy, I wonder if anybody had a religious experience seeing that trot down.
Get your rifle, son.
Is that a unicorn shitting on 9th Street?
Oh, my God. Scoop it up. Scoop it up.
Eat it. Eat it like Darwin would.
It's the fountain of life.
The fountain of life. But we're already alive. Eat it. Yeah, go ahead, Lau.
I just think it's funny. Could you imagine driving down the road and seeing, at the corner, even the corner, right? You'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's no story that would immediately come to your mind to explain that away.
I like that it's a pony too, or a small miniature horse. It's not like that really makes it.
It's extra magical.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
I just thought it was cute, funny. So.
Yeah, that is adorable. Well, from that to my monster of the week, and this one comes straight from the pages of One Holy Bible. I'm getting this directly off top10s.net. In Job, one of the Bible's oldest books, the Behemoth is described as a gigantic, powerful creature that can only be tamed by God himself. His tail is so large that it moves like a cedar. This description has led some creationists to claim that Behemoth was in fact a biblical-era dinosaur. Mm-hmm. Carbon dating aside, the creature is mentioned as having a navel, which would rule it out as an egg-hatched lizard. In Jewish tradition, the behemoth is apparently a primal earth monster, a symbol of chaos. Less imaginative scholars have suggested that the behemoth is simply a poetic description of a hippopotamus. Now, we were recently wondering about, did they mention dinosaurs in the Bible? And I thought that there are some things that were loosely translated into Bible dinosaurs, but it sounds like this might be one of our closer ones. You're not going to describe, even the most liberal of poets are probably not going to describe a hippopotamus with having a tail that moves like a cedar. A hippo doesn't really have much of a tail at all. It's sort of the most pathetic part of their being. It's just like a little...
Yeah.
So, I think the behemoth.
Pretty good at spraying poop around now.
Heard that.
Why is that
just
not
like a unicorn?
Cartoon?
The behemoth?
No, fucking Bible dinosaurs, dude. It'd be like a Saturday morning cartoon. It's like, Bible dinosaurs.
A preosaurus?
Yeah, right.
And now let us bow our heads.
I'd watch that too.
I would too. Well, I would have been forced to.
Well, true.
Growing up in my household, but any cartoons that mention the Bible, yeah, that would have been a home run for my parents. Just fine Christians riding around on dinosaurs.
I see a little Tyrannosaurus Rex taking his tiny little hand and doing the fucking cross.
like to ward off vampires? Get back, Satan! Get behind me, evil one!
I'd like it.
I am the proud Brontosaurus. Do any of you know, John Mark? Do you know is that the going theory for a lot of creationists that we lived at the same time of dinosaurs? I know certain sects of people believe
it is, yeah, for a lot of fundamental Christians, I guess. I don't know what particular branches believe that.
I suppose if it's the young
I
Earth
remember
theory.
Hearing something about that when I was little. I remember being told that basically the dinosaurs got wiped out by the flood. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So,
yeah. That does make sense. There was no room on the old ark, or maybe the dinosaurs were of the devil. They were very dragon-like, some of them.
Yeah, I just remember vaguely hearing some stuff when I was a kid that made me believe that dinosaurs and people were alive at the same time, like in Bible times.
Yeah.
What if Noah was like Darwin and like every fucking animal?
And he ate all dinosaurs?
He actually asked for 3 animals to come on the ark. 2 to mate and 1 for him to eat.
It's like Sophie's fucking choice as they come up the ramp. Like, who's gonna...
I don't know which one to eat. They all look so good. This species may just have to go extinct. And my quest for the missing link continues. Oh, good old Darwin. I know that most scholars, would laugh at even an if scenario. But if there was any time where man and dinosaurs existed, they literally could have ridden dinosaurs.
They're pals, yeah.
It's as simple as that. Can you imagine having the balls to climb like a brontosaurus? Or didn't they just decide that the brontosaurus never existed?
What?
Am I thinking of the right one?
Holy fuck! My childhood's been shattered.
There's a game. There's a game that you can ride dinosaurs. It's called Ark Survival Evolved.
Oh, interesting. Full circle.
You start out on this island, and you basically have nothing, and you can you go from being essentially a caveman with like a rock and wood weapons to having I guess energy weapons and rocket launchers, and you can ride around on giant dinosaurs and shoot things with laser guns.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that sounds pretty amazing.
Check it out, Ark Survival Evolved.
Huh.
Okay, I looked it up real quick. This is off of NPR. That's going back a few years ago. I thought this was a pretty new finding, but the headline here is "Forget extinct. The Brontosaurus never even existed."
Haven't they found bones and shit, though? I don't understand.
I thought. Well, listen, I'll read a little bit. It says, it may have something to do with all those Brontosaurus burgers everyone's favorite modern Stone Age family ate. But when you think of a giant dinosaur with a tiny head and a long swooping tail, the Brontosaurus is probably what you're seeing in your mind. Well, hold on. Scientifically speaking, there's no such thing as a Brontosaurus. Even if you knew that, you may not know how the fictional dinosaur came to star in the prehistoric landscape of popular imagination. So it goes on. So according to that little bit of it, it never existed.
What? Joe Mark.
There seems to be differing opinions on some of these headlines.
I think there was Brontosaurus. Don't worry, Chris.
All right.
Yeah, the dinosaurs you love that are fake. There's another one that claims it. Popular mechanics. Brontosaurus is back. New study says the dino is real after all.
Eat it. Eat it.
Apparently, there's been a bit of back and forth. I'm just going on headlines here.
I think this must be like another Pluto situation, right?
Oh, jeez.
It's not a planet.
Not clear
it is
on
a planet.
Pluto.
It's not a planet. It is a planet.
Is Pluto back?
Right,
and
yes.
It's loaded with brontosauruses. Yeah.
Pluto's back. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I remember reading a story a long time ago where they compiled a bunch of bones and made a dinosaur, and that's how the dinosaur was presumed to look like. But it was out of a pile of bones. So
it wasn't a brontosaurus, though,
There's
right?
fucking Lego. They Legoed their own dinosaur. Just
dude, a brontosaurus is fucking huge, dude. It's like 3 sizes of the time. Well, it's about 3 sizes of a bus, a school bus. I mean, they're huge.
Yeah, they're giant.
Yeah, mix those bones up, dude. Those are huge.
Yeah, I mean, those bones are going to something, right?
Sure.
Unless they put 500 neck bones together. It's just why are we doing this? When should we
it's
stop?
a monster.
We found this part of its neck bone was in Antarctica, and the other part was in Australia. It's huge. Keep putting them together. Yeah, eventually, they'd have to know when to stop. Unless they think these people are actually making these bones, I guess that's got to be the theory, is that these people are just frauds.
I think that actually was a theory that they were faking it, that they were making them.
No.
Yeah, that was a theory at some point for some people. Probably still is.
Splice interview with Sean. Chris, you had some stuff for Hollywood Gets Probe. Let's get into that.
All right. Do you guys see Pacific Rim?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Were you fans of that one?
Yeah, I liked it.
I saw that movie 3 fucking times in the theater.
John Mark hated it.
He hated it, yeah, clearly. I saw it twice in the theater. I really liked it, too. But, they've been trying to make a second one for a long time, and I guess what's been holding it up is they can't get Guillermo del Toro to commit or schedule himself, so they're going to move forward without him.
What?
Yeah, so moving on to... They're going to make a second one, and I don't know if he's given up his option in that or what the logistics are, but they're going to move forward without him. A lot of fans have doubts about it now, but
yeah,
I don't know.
That's tough. But I think that's a movie they could make a pretty decent one with just about the right, interesting director. But now, was that one of his concepts, or did he take that from a comic or something else?
I don't know.
Well, it's derivative of a fucking 1,000 different things.
Well,
but
sure.
I mean, it's his. I think it's his own sort of take on the giant robot versus kaiju type of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I thought that was interesting. I'm looking forward to that either way, just to kind of see what they do with it. Big fan of that franchise. I really like that movie. Okay. We're getting a fucking Mrs. Doubtfire 2. Or Mrs. Doubtfire reboot.
Now that seems more. Well, yeah, I guess it would have to be a reboot, but that seems more offensive.
Like Mrs. Doubtfire 2. And they're just going to prop him up like Weekend at Bernie's meets
Weekend
Mrs.
at Doubtfires.
Weekend at Doubtfire.
I might watch Weekend at Doubtfires, I'm going to lie.
All right, we'll check
I
this
think
out.
that would be pretty fucking hilarious, actually.
The rest of the show is just fucking propped up.
Guess who's going to star as fucking Doubtfire? I think this would be a hard one to grab.
I think we should all at least take one guess, though.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to give you a clue. Younger, like probably younger than you guys, but probably my age.
Okay, I'm going to go, your age.
Oh, that's going to be?
I was leaning toward Hugh Jackman because he seems to pop up in all the weird roles.
Fucking Wolverine, you know?
Mrs. Doubtfire. I would say maybe somebody like Ryan Gosling.
Okay, good guess. John Mark, take a guess.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ooh, the Ryan so far rocking it. That would work. Okay, a little Deadpool action.
That does make sense. Yeah.
Lily pad.
As a what? Okay, you know what I'm going to go with? And it makes sense to me. I want this greenlit, guys. Adam Sandler.
That was the first name that came to my head, but he's older than us.
Yeah.
That's okay. You'd be Doubtfire.
Okay, now I remember why I saved this story, because it's Jonah fucking Hill.
Jonah Hill.
Oh.
Right? That's what I said too.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can totally see that.
Yeah, at first you're like, wow. Yeah. They'll probably change the whole feel of it, too. I guess he's going to smoke a lot of pot. Mrs. Doubtfire's going to not get a lot of chores done around the house on this one. A stoner version.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I got a couple more here. Hollywood gets probed. These posters popped up in a Manhattan subway a couple weeks back. Official advertising. Did you guys see this? I'm going to send it over Facebook Business here.
Oh, yeah. Spaceballs. Spaceballs 2.
Yep, they're making the sequel's coming out, apparently.
Yeah, I heard that. The Schwartz awakens with an even greater helmet. I love it. It's got the smashed helmet like Star Wars, like Darth's from the new Star Wars. That's pretty hilarious.
I'm looking forward to that. I need to rewatch them shits.
Well, now is the time. Well, that stuff holds up. Those spoof movies always seem to hold up. But now is the time, with Star Wars Mania back in full swing, to bring a little Spaceballs. I'd love to see what they do with, what's his kisser, Krylon. You can only imagine what they're going to do with the bratty little emo kid, Krylon.
You can now stay in the house from the first season of American Horror Story. You can rent a room on Airbnb, actually, is the only place you can find it. Yeah. Only going to cost you $1,450 per night to rent a room there, so not a big deal. Chump change for you fans.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if you can crawl under the porch.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's the one scene that always stands out in my head, with the girl. And, yeah, I guess spoilers, I won't go any further, but interesting. I'd like to see. I wonder if it even looks like it on the inside. Like, to know if it was filmed on the inside. Because it's like the Goonies has a lot of houses that are famous. They never really shot inside them. They're just exteriors, or maybe through the doorway. And the interiors are shot in L.A.
Maybe I thought, God, I can't imagine they would be able to rent a room out if the inside didn't look a little bit like it's supposed to. Fuck, for $1,500? No.
Are we only getting one more season of American Horror Story, or is it over?
I don't know. I heard that. I know that they've got one more coming. I don't know beyond that, though.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Predator reboot last couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's an update on that, and apparently Arnie's in talk with the director to get in on the new Predator movie.
Well, that's kind of sad. He had to call them up.
No, I don't know if that's the case or not. He just had a quote on his saying he has a meeting schedule.
You can't do this to me. You can't do this without me.
It's like the Adele song. You just singing the Adele, the Hello song. Come on. No.
Hello. Is it? You're looking for.
I don't work at Boost anymore. I don't have to hear that stuff.
Oh, is it You Never Call Me on My Cell Phone? Is that the song? Or are you Lionel Richie?
Oh, my God. You don't have the Adele song?
Hum it. I probably do.
I couldn't. I'm giving you
Well, I'm
shit.
gonna assume you
At least
don't
I've
fucking
heard it. I've heard it like 5 times. At least.
Oh, yeah. The hello from the other. Let me get my voice warmed up here. The hello from the other side. The chopper's where we got to hide. Boy, it would be really hard to do an album of Arnie covers.
Well,
What's that
committed
band
now.
that does the... remember we talked about it? I played a little bit of them. The band that does...
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. Nothing but Arnold. Metal songs. Fucking brilliant.
So fucking good.
One of those things we should have thought about. I mean, how could they not? At least as a bit thing,
Well,
you know?
no,
I guess it depends on what... listen, we all love and admire Arnold, and it's hard to think of the Predator franchise without thinking of Arnold, but if they are going to try to give this thing like a serious reboot in terms of like a darker, you know, and they always try to make it a darker, more realistic tone than some of the...
More
And
grittier.
More grittier. Well, Predator, it was some serious hardcore shit when it came out, but now we see it as a bit more campy, you know.
Fuck, man, I disagree. Have you watched them shits lately? I've watched that like a year ago. It
No, I'm
ripped
not
me.
saying the movie. I'm saying we all think of it that way. We the only time you ever talk about it is "Get to the chopper" and all the ridiculous lines and the one-liners. And we would, I mean, tell me you wouldn't instantly get a kind of a chuckle going
Yeah,
the second
that's true.
Arnold made an appearance in a Predator movie, and you know that the lines were coming. So I could kind of understand, depending on which way they wanted to go with this thing. I can kind of understand them not answering his phone calls, but I'd love to see it.
I can see him like a colonel, like, you know, shit happens. There's like not just a predator.
They call in the one guy that has experience.
Yeah, it's like got to train all these.
They pulled me back out of retirement.
Shoots him to the space to destroy the rock. Fucking
He's teaching kindergarten and some
too.
They called in the old
Some
expert.
movies.
You know, that's how they would set it up too.
Close my eyes. Just wanna fall. Wait.
Yeah, that was the wrong movie, but he can come riding on a rock. If anyone can ride a space rock, it's Arnold. I'd like to see Arnold fighting a predator whilst riding a space rock. That's
I'd like to see him fighting a space rock at this point. Like Arnold versus the comet destroying us.
Gets to the chopper and flies to a space rock. It lands. I'm going to land her. It's no good. It's moving too fast. I'm going to jump. Sad little Ronnie.
We need to talk a little bit about this video that resurfaced that you put up on Facebook last week that kind of tripped my balls out a little bit.
Which one's that?
The one of you from fucking 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah. That was my cousin Bobby and my brother were fucking around. Now, I got this little black and white video camera. This was in like 97 or 98. It was like $20 or $30 at the toy store. It was like for kids. And you had to plug it into your VCR. That's how you recorded it. It was basically like an early cheap security camera.
Sure, I was going to say the tape deck to CD player.
Yeah, it had no recording technology. You just plugged it into something. So we made little movies, and we actually made some stupid little independent films that won a couple of decent film festivals back east, and a few smaller ones here. But that was just a clip from us being drunk and fucking around. That was right after I moved into this house in 1999.
Was it really? Holy shit!
I'll post that clip on. It's just me doing. We used to do these fake news stories, like Ron Evans here reporting with the local news, and then I think I went into something about a Smurf falling out of a basket. It was nonsense and stupid, and it never went anywhere. Most of these things never went anywhere. But we recorded everything because occasionally we would say something really fucking funny, and we never made this stuff to show anybody. It was just for our own entertainment and to immediately watch it back and get drunk and have fun with it, you know. So we never really expected anybody to watch it, but that's what got us making films, was stupid shit like that. But yeah, I'll post that. But what's weird about that camera is This was before I even knew about that IR filter thing with the original
that we
Sony
talked about?
Handycams. It sort of had a night vision effect, but when you held it to thin clothes that were thin, you could see right through it. And if they're wet, they were basically naked right in front of you. So I don't know if those things are out there, but they're worth their weight in gold now for taking to the beach. Of course, you have to take a portable VCR with you to get them shits recorded. Huh?
I brought that story to News Quiz a year back. I'd never heard of it, and you all were like, "Oh yeah, that's old news." You're like, "I got one in the closet somewhere."
Yeah, I did have one of them.
Tape ones that did that with the night. I actually have one still. I haven't tried it, but I'm pretty sure it's the same kind of one.
Yeah, well, the early ones, before they realized it was happening, the early ones, you just set it to night vision and went out in the daytime. The later ones, they put some sort of lock on it so that you couldn't use the night feature with the full aperture or something like that, and it just wouldn't take a good picture. All you had to do was break your camera slightly to let that switch be nulled, and then you could still do it. And that was the version I had, and I just never really took the time to go sit and be a creep at swim meets or down at the beach to really test it, but I definitely tested it around the house. I recorded my ex-wife with it, and she got out of the shower wearing a bathing suit that you couldn't see anything through with your naked eye, ironically, but through that camera she may as well have been stone cold naked.
Wow.
Yeah, it really is magic. And it's funny that, I don't know, maybe it is, but it's funny that I haven't seen a camera specifically marketed to peeping toms out there that's like, the X-ray vision, because we grew up seeing those ads in the back of comic books for X-ray specs.
Yeah, only 50 cents.
And, of course, they were shit, but that was what we had in mind. That's exactly what we had in mind. So why isn't someone out there selling these as X-ray specs? Maybe they are. It's just not in my radar, but interesting shit, and I will post that video. You'll kind of immediately see what I mean. It has a weird effect on your eyes, and there's just it's not a very flattering camera, but Chris, you made the astute observation that you sort of felt like you were watching a CGI version of me. Part of that was because I was younger and you didn't know me back then, and part of it was, I'm sure, because of that effect on the camera.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That effect really did lend to that. But it was weird. It was like, I kept coming back to it. It reminded me of Tron, the most recent Tron, like when you see a young Jeff Bridges. Not that you've aged that much, but you've aged enough where it's distinguishable. Like, you know what I mean? And it was weird because your face was right fucking there, like I was video podcasting with you. It was really strange. I got to be honest, I was super stoned when I watched it the first time.
Oh, that would be creepy.
It was not pleasant.
Especially if you looked at my eyes too much. Well, and I had hair. You've never known me with hair.
No, that's weird.
I had a full head of hair back then.
Yeah.
It was like a year after that it started falling out. So that was my last year with hair.
The last good year.
My last good year.
All right, you guys want to get on to some news quiz?
Yeah, I guess we better.
All right. I'm going to let you know, Ron. Today, there's no Kanye questions.
Oh, thank you.
You don't have to fucking whine like a little bitch, all right?
I still might. Just because I don't have to don't mean I won't.
I'll Kanye of you. All right. You're going in the standard order tonight. Let's start this off. Question 1. A woman in Baltimore got into a bit of trouble with the TSA when they scanned her luggage she was trying to check, and security detained her because they thought she was trying to check guns and ammunition onto the flight. Turns out she just had this. Was it a gun-shaped vibrator?
Oh, yeah, that should have rung true to not bring on the plane.
Is it B, a pair of gun-shaped stiletto heels?
Oh, yeah.
Or C, a gun-shaped hairdryer?
Boy, they're all sort of gun-shaped, so...
They are all sort of
Gotcha. Well, I mean, all hairdryers.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All those answers are sort of... How'd you luck into that, Chris? Okay, so who's going first?
You are.
I'm going to go with C.
You're going with the hairdryer.
There's a lot of hairdryers that are gun-shaped.
Okay, John Mark?
Well, just to be different, I'll go with the shoes.
Okay. Lily pad?
The shoes. I choose the shoes.
Choose.
I choose the shoes. Choose.
Okay.
Yeah. I know women that have like fetishes for shoes, and I've seen them.
They're called women.
Well, no, it's specific. A specific friend of mine. She has close to probably a couple hundred. And
Yeah, that is extreme.
Easy things, and I could imagine her actually probably already owning a pair. So
That would be hot.
I've seen them.
Oh,
Question 2.
little clue there.
No. I've seen them in real life.
Guns.
Oh, maybe it is a clue. Maybe it's not. Man, I'm fucking with you.
what? Chris, fuck off.
Question 2.
A gun-shaped vibrator would be really fun to use on somebody, though. It'd be funner to use on somebody than yourself.
And a bang before I bang, you know?
Yeah,
And
that's
a
good
bang.
stuff.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
It's the
Question
thing
2.
that goes bang. Yeah.
A 29-year-old German man was killed in Germany, nonetheless, after he and his 2 buddies blew up a vending machine selling these, causing piles and piles of them to be scattered all throughout the crime scene. Was it A, pop music CD singles featuring mainly Fraulein Justin Bieber?
Wow, this is another exploding vending machine. We've had 1 or 2 of these in News Quiz, haven't we?
Yeah.
Have we?
Stop blowing up vending machines, friends.
Is it B, fully cooked in front of your eyes hot dogs?
In front of your eyes. I like that. I
Rotisserie.
like knowing my wiener's free.
Rotisserie.
Put it on a spike and
brother.
spin it.
Or C, condoms?
Yeah, that was the
Rubber
first
machine.
thing that came to my head.
Monster.
I got to go with condoms.
Rubbers.
Yeah,
Okay.
rings
John
true.
Muhammad?
The machine blew up, or they blew it up, or it just blew up while they were fucking with it.
They blew it up.
They blew it up.
They had intent to blow it up.
Okay, I don't know. Fuck, hot dogs. I like Chicago dogs. Let's go with hot dogs.
German dogs, okay.
Well, that
German
sounds
wiener
good.
dogs. All right. Lily Pad.
I think I am gonna have to go with the condoms.
All right. You and okay, interesting. Perfect. Question 3. A Philadelphia area school was forced to apologize to parents after a class of students held a skit during an assembly where some students did this. Was it A, dressed as KKK members?
Well, it's part of history.
The B, dressed as the remaining presidential candidates and mud wrestled?
Oh, the remaining candidates. Yeah, let the best man win. Or gal.
Or C, dressed as deceased American president zombies?
That's cute. And educational.
little Abe Lincoln zombie?
Yeah, I like C. I think the ones people might have... Remind me, A?
Dressed as KKK members.
Yeah, I gotta go with that. That definitely seems like the biggest faux pas.
All right. John Mark?
I'm gonna go with A2. What the hell?
Perfect.
I'm gonna go with the albinos.
The albinos of the whites.
It's the wrong one.
Whitest of whites.
No, I'm because I want to see it. I want to see the zombies.
Yeah.
Because there's the thing that we have in town here. It's like every once in a while, once a year, the zombie walk, and it's a bar hop. Everybody dresses like zombies and like bar hops went at you.
I think every town's got a... I think every town does that, yeah.
Yeah,
Zombie crawl.
why not?
It's funny. A lot of independent filmmakers wait for that every year, and they get their...
Their B-roll.
Yeah, they burn their B-roll footage off of it. It's a good production value. It's good thinking.
Lyle, I don't think I got your answer, though, did I?
Oh, but you did.
Zombies.
Zombies.
Oh, zombie, that's
He was so fascinated listening to his analyze.
I was. He took me away.
Sorry.
Okay. Last question of the night here. Back in January, cops had to bust up a frat party in Bethesda, Maryland. And 2 of the frat brothers may be going to prison because of this, because they were the only ones over 21, and there was a shitload of underage people there. But when cops arrived, they found over 300 people there partying. The sheer amount of alcohol in the house was astounding. So much so that... A, there was a 24-foot by 12-foot kiddie pool full of Spody in one of the rooms.
The This is the 300 people. That's like one of those crazy, those parties never really happen in real life that you see in a movie. People jumping off the roof into the pool, which I've seen. I mean, I've done that, but
it's legit. That's legit. I've seen a Spuddy in a bathtub before.
Mm-hmm. I've seen crazy things, but I mean, never with 300 people.
Well, 24-foot by 12-foot kiddie pool full of Spuddy.
Mm-hmm.
B.
And probably a few other things by the end of the night.
Oh, fuck. I bet that pool got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
B. One room was lined with plastic and was used as a vodka-infused super soaker battleground.
I was thinking ahead.
Yeah. Or C, a breathalyzer blew at .09 when it was just held into the air of the house.
That sounds like something on Mythbusters, which, by the way, just had their final episode ever this last Sunday.
Sad times.
End of an era. Boy, I really like the cleverness of C, so I'm tempted to bite at that. But I'm going to go with... Well, fuck it. I'm going to go... No, it can't be C, can it? I always go with these crazier than shit answers. I'm going to go with C. I don't think that's scientifically perfect, but let's try it.
John Mark?
B was which one again?
One of the rooms was lined with plastic and used as a vodka-infused super soaker battleground.
Oh, let's go with that one.
Okay. You're so invested.
All right.
Is that an eagle on your lap again?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, I got to finish later.
Is that had people?
Lily pad.
Oh, my God. Who's on?
Does he? By the way, John Mark, does he have any idea how often he comes up on the show now? Does he even listen?
Who? Oh.
Are you listening?
Do you have any idea how often you come up on the show, John Mark?
Yes, I do.
Lyle.
Now, what about Adam?
Does that Meagle or? Whoa.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't listen.
I don't think. No.
Son of a bitch. All right.
Yeah.
I know,
right? I'm thinking in my head. I'm thinking the best thing that I would actually enjoy and probably do down the road. Because let's face it, I still like drinking. I'm gonna go B because I think that would be amazing, dude. Just to sit there and fucking have a squirt gun fight, rocking it out, 300 people.
We're doing for your birthday, Lyle.
Yeah, make it whiskey though. I don't want vodka.
Yeah, I'm with you. Although, if you're going to waste something out of a squirt gun, it should be vodka.
It should be vodka, yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go over the answers here. Question 1, a woman in Baltimore got into a bit of trouble with the TSA when they scanned her luggage. Thought she was trying to check on guns and ammo, but it was really just her gun-shaped stiletto heels.
Son of a bitch, you did give a clue, although we'd all answered by then. Yeah.
John, Mark, and Lyle, you guys got that correct.
I'd like to see that. That sounds pretty hot.
They are pretty hot. I'll post a picture for you.
Wow.
To question 2, a 29-year-old man in Germany was killed after he and 2 of his buddies blew up a rubber vending machine.
Interesting. Are you sure you didn't bring this story to us once before? It sure sounds familiar.
I don't think so, but you know what?
There was another vending machine that blew up.
Anything's
in
fucking
the story. It seems like it was the condoms.
I have to write a lot of these questions. So
sure. Oh, it's bound to happen. I'm sure I've brought news stories that we talked about before. But if that's new and that's not the same one, I guess it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, there's money in them shits. But wait. Do you know if they're blowing it up just as vandals fucking around? Let's blow up that condom machine. Watch it.
Wasn't in the story, but what was in the story was they all went to go get cover, they set the explosive, and they all got behind something, and the guy that got killed got into the car, and it blew up before he could shut the door, basically, and the machine exploded in through the thing and killed him.
Oh, yikes.
And then all these rubbers just on the ground around him.
Insult to death.
Yeah.
He's piling up on his fucking corpse.
Well, he died as he lived.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. All right. Let's see. Ron and Lau got that correct.
Because it couldn't possibly be for money if you're blowing it up.
No.
It's got to be vandals being goobers.
Question 3. A Philadelphia area school is forced to apologize to parents after a class of students held a skit during an assembly where some students dressed as KKK members.
No.
To historically portray them, and I guess it did not sit well with much of the audience.
No, I suppose it wouldn't.
No.
That's rough.
Ron and John Mark. You got that correct. It's a tie game right now, guys.
Oh, shit. Well, the thing about that is, it is interesting. I mean, let's say that you're putting on a play about the Nazis. You would want people in Nazi regalia, or if you, let's keep to the specifics of the story. You're putting a play on about, lynching and cross-burning in the South. And you would want the characters in the KKK thing. I mean, there's something that really brings it home when you see that shit. So, yeah, I don't know. If it's there and they're doing it to portray something from history as opposed to making some sort of obviously racist statement, I think you kind of got to let some of that shit slide. I mean, it
all depends on the context, but we all know that there's people out there who can't fucking handle anything, no matter what the context and no matter how historically important it is that it be brought to someone's attention. It's
right?
like,
and it's school.
Someone's going to get
kids.
offended.
So I don't blame them for censoring this, if you will, but. I don't know. I like the idea of being able to not shy away from the horrors of real. I mean, the KKK is still a thing. They still dress in those fucking outfits when they get together in their cowardly little assemblies. So, I don't know. That seems like a pretty powerful history lesson to me to see a bunch of kids dressed up in the KKK. But, it's cool. They can't do them shits, I suppose.
All right, let's see how we did here on this last question. Back in January, cops had to bust up a frat party in Bethesda, Maryland. Excuse me. And two of the kids are probably going to go to prison because of the sheer amount of underage people they were serving. But the thing that really astounded the police was they held up a fucking breathalyzer to the air on the main floor, and it blew a .09.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, Ronster, you got that correct, which makes you our winner tonight, of course.
I won on... See, this is why I choose the crazies.
Yeah.
Because
that's fucking crazy.
Now and again, it'll take you to the top. That is amazing, but at the same time, if you think about it, what else are they testing when you breathe into a breathalyzer? They're testing the vapors of your breath. Mm-hmm. So, I guess it stands to reason that it could hang in the air, but holy shit, you wouldn't think that it would literally hang in the air.
Yeah, no kidding.
They'd be all over the floor.
That's really fucking crazy.
Like you would, I mean, could you walk in and breathe the air and get a little buzz if you were in there long enough?
That's
I think
a great
you would.
fucking question, yeah.
That is crazy.
I'm guessing yes.
Well, anything else, you get a contact high if it's in the air.
Yeah.
That is fascinating. Well, good shit. And I won. We need to start playing for listeners again. We got some good prizes coming up, I think. We'll have to... are we getting caught up on sending prizes out? Is that why we took a break?
Sure.
Are you getting tired of funding this whole thing? That's all something. Oh, we should talk about the...
Patreon.
The Patreon. Yeah, John Mark's on here. He's got the deets. So we have been talking for 5 years now about some way of making it easy for our diehard supporters and even some of you casual fans who appreciate what we do and want to see it continue and help us and inspire us to not only bring you quality programming that you've come to expect week in, week out, year after year, but to even improve, and get better equipment, help us to get better guests, help to spread the word through advertisement.
Perhaps help fund a road trip for us to record something somewhere, do a live show somewhere, I don't know, stuff like that,
Or even just help pay for the bandwidth. It does cost money to put on a show. We have monthly fees, and when we give prizes out, it costs us money for those prizes. Even if we just have them laying around, we still got to ship them out to y'all. In some cases, across the world, that is not cheap. So we have set up a Patreon. Now, John Mark, why don't you tell us how this works and where the kids can go to support us?
There's 3 different tiers. It's a monthly, it's sort of a recurring subscription, I guess, kind of. It's sort of like a Netflix subscription. You can donate either $1 or $5 or $10 a month. I don't know if you can do a custom amount. I'm not sure about that. You might be able to if you wanted to be really awesome, But so the first tier, we were talking about how if you pledge us $1 a month, you will get a link every time we do exclusive content. We will do exclusive content, and you will get that before anybody else gets to see it. So eventually we'll probably publish that stuff so that other people can hear it and or see it, but everybody that pledges us at least $1 a month will get it first. Yeah. So the second tier is that same thing, plus you will be able to get the questions for the news quiz for that week and play along with us. And I'm not sure exactly how that works. Chris, you want to go into the details on that?
Yeah, we did kind of a test run. I asked some people to jump on Facebook and see if they wanted to test it. And I got about, I think, close to 15 people jumped on right away and said they wanted to do it. So every week, the day of the podcast, you'll basically get an email, and you click the link, and you'll be able to take the news quiz, basically. And you are timed on each question, so cheating will be hopefully deterred. And there'll be a leaderboard, and we can talk about, what listeners are doing better than you guys, basically. The news quiz at the end of
and for the love of God, it's the Tales from the Space Pod bonus news quiz. If you cheat on it, you should be looking at yourself, my friend.
You should be starting with the man in the mirror, so to speak. But anyways, yeah. So I think that could be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's tier 3, John Mark?
Tier 3 is
hand jobs from John Mark.
Tier 3 is you get all that stuff and something else that we're going to decide later because that's how we roll.
Kick it our way. We will much appreciate it, and it will really help us out. And we're talking pretty small.
I donate $1 a month to the Seahawkers podcast, and nothing makes me feel better. I got to be honest, because I know how much work goes into a fucking podcast. Yeah. And just throwing them $1 a month, that's nothing for me. But 250 of their listeners are doing the same thing, and all of a sudden that adds up.
It could really make a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's awesome. If you can, awesome. If not, no big deal. Like Ron said, thanks for the subscribe. Keep hanging in there with us.
I'd like to throw in too that if our listeners have any ideas of what they would like say ringtones or something like that, we can
nudes, whatever. What's your email address again, Ron?
Ron@boronfilms.com. Yeah, that's a good idea. Any suggestions that you have, not just for rewards for this, but for the show in general. We'd like to hear what you guys like. If you like the new format better than the old format, if there's things that we do that you're tired of that you'd like to see change, if there's things that we don't do that you'd like to see added to the mix, let us know. Doesn't mean we'll listen to you, but we'll definitely weigh the pros and cons of all of them. Oh, I wanted to mention, someone said subscriptions. Now, I was reading something about iTunes and a lot of these other podcatchers that I didn't know before, and the reviews are not just the number of reviews that we've gotten. We've got a good chunk of reviews, I think close to 50 or something like that. There are much bigger podcasts than us that don't have that many reviews on iTunes. But iTunes kind of buries you, and a lot of these other browsers will bury you if those reviews slow. So it's not just the number of reviews we've got up there, or how many stars we've got, it's how often we get new reviews. Yeah, that tells them that people are still interested in us, and that we're not past our prime, and that we didn't, stop 3 years ago. So spread the word about, if you've got people that listen to the show, get people to leave us a positive review however they listen, because that is really a missing piece lately. You guys have been awesome about that in the past few years, and it's just really slowed. I mean, a lot of you have already done it, so it's just a simple mathematic equation. If you have not done it, though, think about doing it over the next month or two, as we're heading to sweeps, as they say, and maybe we can get us boosted up and get us featured on one of those sites and bump our listenership up, because it's time to take this bird to the next level.
John Mark, how can they get to the Patreon?
Yeah, what's the address there?
It's Patreon. It's patreon.com/Tales from the Spacepod.
Mm-hmm. And we'll post the links on the spacepod.yuku.com and our Facebook page as well. But find us on there. Anything helps, and we will be much appreciative. And I guess
John Mark's going to give hand jobs so much.
Yeah, he said it. He said it on there. He couldn't say it if it wasn't true.
Yeah, third level. We're bored.
His girlfriend's a massage therapist, so he's been learning some techniques. You know what I'm saying?
I have very nice
soft
skin too.
Yeah.
Soft
skin. Wow, that's creepy.
He's got the ginger touch. You know what I'm saying?
Why would you have to say it like that? You want a hand job? Sure. I have nice skin.
You want to put the lotion on it?
Less sure.
Slightly less sure.
But speaking of skin, I'm getting a lot of great fucking nudes from y'all. All the ladies for the most part. I got a couple dudes, including a transgender. I need, I'm begging for dick pics here. So gals, maybe I'm going to approach you because you guys seem to be the ones with the balls here, ironically. Approach your male friends, your significant others about maybe doing a little shoot for this show. Explain it to them. Let them know that they can crop out their face or leave it in if they're feeling especially saucy and liberated. And maybe get me some photos that way. I think with a girl involved, a lot of dudes might be more likely to do it. That can be said about anything, honestly. Get the girls involved, the guys will follow. Ron at BourneFilms.com. Keep on sending me those nudes. And some of them are very arty. Some of them are just straight up selfies in front of the mirror. Some of them are posed with lighting and lots of makeup and special effects. And some of them are just like a Polaroid. I'm accepting them all. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to send me. It doesn't have to be your whole body. It can be body parts because I'm going to be dividing the art up by body parts, which I think will be interesting aesthetically.
The Ronster does not discriminate.
I do not when it comes to nakedness. I'm really excited for this show, and so far it is a chick fest. And it's funny because I keep talking to people about this, and we're already learning something about bashfulness, about the difference in sexes when it comes to nudity in public. I would wager that way more dudes are sending dick pics than girls are sending booby pics. It's probably close, but I would wager that guys send more. And yet, here we are, when it's under the guise of art. Very, very few wiener pics. So I would like to see that grow, if you will. I would like that to be a grower and or a show. Ron at BourneFilms.com. Send all those to me. Other than that, we do have a carnival show coming up. There's plenty of time or circus show coming up at the Radar Station Gallery. Plenty of time to get me a piece there too. It could be circus or sideshow freak related. So if you've got a piece already built for that, a painting, a small sculpture, or a drawing that will ship to me in sunny Wenatchee, Washington, that would be awesome to get that to me by the 20th, and I'll put it in the show. Or send me a picture of it first, and then we'll discuss it, because I do not let everything come in with the art shows. The nude show is a special exception. And I'm really excited about this show, because I'm going to do a bunch of little pieces. You guys have seen my alien pods that I've built, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to do some little things like that, but it's going to be like a miniature peep show and, like a little magnifying glass and like a tiny pinup, nude little pinup inside it.
Nice.
Little tiny curiosity cabinets with found tiny mermaids. Everything's going to be small, because I don't want to take up too much space, but I'm really excited about the art that I'm going to be busting out for that one.
Awesome, man.
Called Tents, and that will be going, April and May. So get those to me ASAP, Ron at BourneFilms.com. Other than that, let's get on out of here.
Should we give a shout out to our fan that we seen at the gallery this weekend?
Which fan was that? This fucking gallery show was a blur. Shit is blowing up for this gallery, and other galleries are reaching out. A lot of the people that came to this show were other gallery owners or workers, and they want us to set up shop in their galleries to promote our artists, our growing thing of artists. And people are starting to spread legends about us, which is weird. I'll talk about that in a minute. Who are you talking about, though, Lau?
I can't remember his name, top of my head, but there was a couple fans from Spacepod that were there. Yeah,
there was, and we apologize for spacing your name, but it was a crazy. Those shows are crazy, and it wasn't a huge crowd. This was the second opening. We already had the big first opening, but it was a very enthusiastic and fun crowd to talk to, and I do know there was a couple of people that had been listening to the show. But one thing that
get on to the legends, for fuck's sake.
It was interesting. It's nothing crazy, but it's funny because I heard two of them recently. 2.5. The first one was that I came from Seattle and I brought all my friends with me, and we are setting up shop to take over art in this community. And I guess someone made that up because there's no
city slicker, you Ron.
Because there's no way somebody could do this just from Wenatchee. But no, I have never left this town. I'm one of the few people I know that has never left this town. Even a lot of the people I know that live here, friends of mine forever, they left and came back.
Yeah.
Another one was that I lived here originally, but then I went to Portland, got weird, then brought a bunch of my Portland friends back and set up camp. And I was like, who did you hear this from? And they're just like, that's the story I got.
Your mom, she's been talking about it.
Yeah, no, that guy's crazy. I heard he has like 3 fucking dicks.
Oh, really? His mom said so.
For his mom?
She birthed him.
But that made me so fucking happy, because that means, one, people think that this is too cool to be something that just came from here, and two, people are talking about it, because it's like a game of telephone. You know, if you don't have all the answers, or it's not terribly interesting enough as it started, it's going to grow into something new by the time it gets to that last person. So legends are being born, but the whole thing this weekend has been people reaching out, and Chad has now joined forces with us to do the magazine, and he's all gung-ho, and we're talking distribution, and we've got a lot of new artists. And so shit is growing, and it just kind of blew up all of a sudden. Exciting things happening in the radar station world. And if you're in the area, Pacific Northwest, it's not that far, no matter where you're at, to get to us. And I will make a special occasion to open it up for you. Open it up for anybody. And we can hang out. If you're a fan of the show, it's a great way to get some one-on-one time with the Ronster. Maybe if Lyle's available, he can come up. We can have a drink or two, hang out in the gallery, shoot the shit. It's a good time.
Yeah.
That's the level 3 for Patreon, actually.
Yeah, it's level.
That should be level 3. Hang out with the Crippler and the Ronster in the radar station. Yeah,
It'll be good times. Good times.
That would be fun. Ron@boronfilms.com. Send me those shits. Let's get on out of here, and we do appreciate your support, whether it's financially or leaving us reviews or just telling a friend or just tuning in week after week. That really does mean a lot to us. We appreciate that, and we will see you next week when we talk about 9/11.
9/11.
9/11.
11.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
In front of your eyes. I like that.